Hello, today I'm making all-American-ish chocolate chip cookies. Now I say all-American-ish because obviously I'm very British, so they can't be all-American, can they? I am so excited to share this recipe with you. I've been testing and retesting it for over a year. They are everything you want in a chocolate chip cookie and more. We've got crispy little bottoms, the most squidgy, fudgy little centres, 2 kinds of chocolate because why not? And to double down on the biscuity caramelization, I've only browned the butter to begin with. I promise you, you are going to want these in your life. I can't do better than these. They're peach. That's it. Oh my god. If you like this video and recipe, please subscribe. Full recipe is available on my Substack. All the links are going to be down below. Also, I'm not sure a British person adding their penny's worth about how Americans should be making their chocolate chip cookies is called for. But hear me out. We're going to start by browning the butter, but most importantly, let's choose European butter. And friends in the UK will be like, what's she talking about? When you've tasted, sorry to say it, but American grain-fed butter, which is white and brittle, almost chalky, well, you have no idea how lucky you are to have golden, pliable, grass-fed butter as standard. For me in the States, it's Kerrygold every time, or get your hands on another European-style cultured butter. So we're browning it. Now this is quite important, and you're going to want to kind of see this, and I'm going a little bit too far away, so I may have to fix this. Bear with. For American cookies, you usually start with melted butter, but I've taken it a step further by browning the butter to beurre noisette. This happens very quickly and it can turn from noisette to noir like that. It just means heating your butter up so the milk solids turn golden brown. Don't use a pretty copper pan if you've got one. Go for something light on the inside so that you can see the milk solids turn their golden brown colour. You can see the amber colour of the butter and it started to smell. Incredible! The bubbling stopped and it started to turn to foam, and this is when the milk solids start to turn golden brown. I'm only using a metal spoon so you can see the milk solids. Keep stirring because it's going to happen soon. There they go, that's your brown butter. That's what you're looking for. Golden toasty brown. Off the heat before it catches. There's your brown butter and it smells incredible, like a proper chocolate chip cookie. Everyone knows that the best chocolate chip cookies have got a range of textures, so we're talking a lovely crisp exterior and a soft, almost fudgy, squidgy interior. The way you get that is adding 2 kinds of sugar. We're going half fine granulated, that's caster sugar in the UK, 125 grams, and when that cooks with the butter, it turns the edges dry and golden so that you get that crisp as you bite into it. I wasn't filming when I put the light brown sugar in, but the other half is 125 grams of light brown sugar. The molasses in that keep the centre of the cookies all lovely and fudgy and soft, so you get that lovely chew as your teeth just sink in. You know what I'm talking about. Oh, don't pour out. We're going to beat those sugars with that lovely golden brown butter for 4 minutes to really break down the sugars. 1 large US egg, medium in the UK. Crack that in. 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, or my favourite, vanilla bean paste. Give it a blitz. And that's 225 grams of plain flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder. You don't want to overwork it, just fold it in until combined, otherwise you're working the gluten, and that'll make a tough cookie. Stop. There's still a few little bits of white, but that's absolutely fine because we've still got to fold in the chocolate. Better than overmixing it, and we do not want to overmix it. Now chocolate, 2 kinds, I know, who do I think I am? But I love that with each bite of the cookie you get sweetness from the milk chocolate and bitterness from the dark chocolate. And after all, these are chocolate chip cookies, so I think the chocolate has to play a starring role. For dark chocolate I use Ghirardelli, and milk chocolate in the States I always go for Lindt. You could go for chocolate chips as well, but I like chopping them up because then you get a regularity and that adds a little bit of interest and texture to each bite of the cookie as well. And you get to control how big pieces are going to be. Some of these are rather hunky-munky. Oh! I'd say chunks about that size are quite nice, aren't they? So we're folding in those 2 types of chocolate until just combined. Like that. Okay, move on. Oh, that's a cookie dough. It's amazing. See, just combined, and look at the size of those big chunks of chocolate. That's going to be a dream. And the brown butter smells like proper American bakery style cookies. Oh my god. And we're going to chill for 30 just to make rolling slightly easier. In amongst the beers, you never know what state the fridge is going to be in when you open it, do you? These are all American-ish chocolate chip cookies, so naturally they need to be supersized. Not really supersized, but just a really hefty size, the type you'd get from an American bakery. Now, if you don't use weighing scales already when you're baking, please do a U-turn because these guys are absolutely imperative. I've had my Salter scales since cookery school, donkey's years. They've been around the world with me and back. I couldn't recommend them highly enough, so I'm going to put a little link below to recommend these particular ones. And also if you're baking and not weighing out your ingredients, why not? Please can I urge you to try and do it. We all know baking is a science with all the little variables in a science experiment that could go wrong, and you want your end result to be exactly the same every time, or exactly the same as the person that wrote the recipe intended. But if you use cup measures, there is so much room for error. I would just say, please don't do it. For example, you're weighing out your flour one day and you've got a cup measure. You put it in, press it against the side of the bag, and that compacts the flour so that there's going to be significantly more flour in that, meaning your cookies are going to be drier, your cake's going to be drier, your bakes are not going to be as good as they could be if you were just weighing them from the very beginning. So please, do yourself a favour, and everyone who gets to enjoy your baked goods, and weigh your baking ingredients. Each cookie needs to weigh 90 grams. Here's one I weighed earlier. Like that. That does look massive, it looks hefty, but I promise you want it that size, because as it slowly melts down, the sides will go lovely and crisp, and the middle won't quite have had a chance to cook yet, so that when it comes out of the oven, it'll carry on cooking on the baking sheet, it'll cool up, and then you'll get that most lovely, fudgy centre texture with the crisp edge. Variety is the spice of life, or the spice of an American cookie, or something. But 90 grams is your key. If you have to use a cup measure, then it fits into my quarter cup with a hump like that. It does not fit into my third cup, so don't go thinking, oh, why didn't you just use the third cup? There's way too much headroom in there. If you go filling up your third cup, you're going to have a massive cookie and it'll all spread over the tray. Delicious, I'm sure, but I haven't written the recipe like that, so it won't work. Go for 90 grams. Bam. Roll it into a little bally. Plot them on a plate to chill now for 1 hour. That's a chilled cookie ball, and you do want to chill them for an hour because it gives the butter a chance to solidify, so that these cookies are going to bake slow and steady for those lovely squidgy middles that we're after. And now they can be chucked in those little prepared baking trays we've got in the corner over there. Ta-da! You'll probably only get 6 on because they're going to spread, so put them across 2 lined baking sheets like these, spread about 10 centimetres apart. So whilst they were chilling, I also preheated my oven to 180 Celsius, that's 350 Fahrenheit, and these guys are now going to go in for 12 minutes, and they are going to be done when they're golden and crispy around the edge, but the middles look slightly undercooked, and that's when you should pull them out, I promise. Golden around the edges, and squidgy and underdone on the top. Time to get them out. Now a little short sharp tap on the work surface to push the hot air out and deflate the cookie, and that'll give it that classic crumple cookie top that we're after. I mean, they're pretty good. I have tested and retested these all-American cookies countless times in the past year. It's a tough job. And I have to say that this final version that I bequeath to you now, how un-American is the word bequeath? This final version that I share with you now is, pardon my American, gosh darn delicious. Crispy bases and edges. Squidgy. Oh, it's gonna be so good! Middles. Woo! And I promise you, you are going to want to know about these guys. I am so excited to share this recipe with you! It's like a kind of all-American chocolate chip cookie badge. How do people make it look so? How do people make it not look vaginal? I do have 2 American children who care very greatly about having a good chocolate cookie experience. And so I feel it's my responsibility as an American mom, although I'm not a mom. I'm a mum with a U, British through and through, but just when I'm baking my cookies, I'm an American mom. And I decided to start baking these because, little humble brag, well actually just, it's a big fat brag because it's a really cool story. My husband went to the White House. He went to film with Joe Biden.
Look, there they all are, in the real live Oval Office. There's Joe in the middle, and James with the headphones on.
And he came back with a handful of White House cookies. Now, they'd been in his bag for a while, so a little bit stale. And we all know that the White House cookies are incredible, and obviously they are, and they should be. They're the OG of cookies, let's call them.
And this was them, the actual White House cookies. Look at that gold-blinging presidential emblem. It really is something.
These ones were not so great because they were stale, but the kids opened them, they devoured them, tore open the wrappers, and I suddenly realised with a jolt, my American children had never actually tasted an American chocolate chip cookie. Well, I thought, we need to do better than this, guys. And you can't be accepting this poor, dry version, not, of course, from the White House, it's pretty good, but we can't be accepting this poor, dry version as the be-all and end-all of things. This past year, I have been testing and retesting these guys, and I am so happy with the results. I'm so excited to share it with you. They may only be all American-ish, but I promise you, you are going to want to know about these babies. If you like the look of this recipe or this video and want more, please subscribe. Full recipe is available on my Substack. All the links are going to be down below.